Hey everybody, this is Rustin Rose of Metalholic Magazine and Metal Nation Radio, and joining us today, Marios of Nightrage. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm fine, man. Thanks for having me, and very excited to talk about our new album, The Venomous. We got really good feedback so far, and we have a lot of interviews right now as we speak, and there's a lot of people liking the album, and that makes us really, really excited and really happy, to carry on.
Well, yeah, you should be. I mean, I was going to start it off with congratulations because this is your seventh Nightrage album, The Venomous, and it's a fantastic record. So, congratulations.
Thanks a lot, man. That for me, this is what we want. This is what we're looking for. When people liking the stuff we're doing, every musician. I mean, this is our payment in a way. This is makes us very inspired. Honestly, that because we know that there's a lot of people outside that they're liking the stuff we do, and we in a way we're connected with them, and that makes us carry on and having more ideas, and more albums will come, and it's a back and forth thing. You need that when you're an artist. You need that feedback. You need that push to be able to carry on with your stuff.
As I mentioned, this is your seventh album. Is it hard to believe that you've already recorded 7 albums under the Nightrage banner?
Yeah, it's a great adventure for me so far. I never thought that we would last that long. It's actually 17 years,
right?
And there's 7 albums, and but that it's the willing, it's my passion actually that make it happen. Because with Nitrates, Sometimes I've been into a lot of difficult situations that I have to face, and I'm very glad and very proud actually that we're still here. We're still doing albums, and we are still being active. And now I got the chance to talk to you, and that for me, says a lot. Like we might do something right. So far.
I know musicians always say this about every record. But I think The Venomous may be your strongest, most well-rounded to date. I think it has this amazing continuity throughout.
Yeah, a lot of people actually, a lot of fans of Nitrate, they're stuck in the first 2 albums. They liked a lot of but now we got some reviews that they are, even some people even say that this is on the same level like the Sweet Vengeance, the first album. And for us, this is cool because for me, I mean, personally, I believe that I like all the albums, and for me, all those albums are my babies. But of course, you want to get better on your next album. And like you said, of course, every musician says that their last album is the best. But I believe there is a lot of good vibes on the Venomous, and also you can hear a band that is more solid, is more well-rounded, and we're very excited and very happy to compose songs and still be here. It doesn't sound bored anyways. It sounds pretty exciting to my ears.
Well, tell us about The Venomous from your perspective, because there's a bit of a theme, sort of, or a concept going on here. And like you said, each album is like a child, a new one. So what is new with this album? What were you trying to do here?
The new thing is like we have a more solid unit, a more solid lineup. Actually, me and Magnus, the new guitar player, we wrote all the songs together. I mean, I wouldn't be able to write this by myself. Of course, it's a team effort, and Ronnie put a lot of his ideas on the vocal melodies, and he wrote the lyrics, and he helped us with arrangements. And Lawrence, the new drummer, he tried to play along with the songs, and you can hear definitely that this is a team effort. Like everybody trying its best, and to make the best songs we can. And also we wanted to go to different directions this time. I think, of course, we have this signature Nitrate style that we are well known for, but this time, because of the fact that Magnus also contributed on the songwriting, makes it a little bit more different, more going to different directions, and still has, of course, the signature sound of Nitrate. But that for me is very important, to be able to evolve with your music, and also don't forget where you're coming from. So we're trying to just write good songs and be mature songwriters.
Absolutely. And I was going to mention that, this is the second album with Ronnie. He'd made his debut on 2015's The Puritan, which was sort of an album that opened you up to more of the metal community globally, because you got the album out there to more people. But it's his second album. It's the first album, as you said, for Magnus on guitar joining you, the first album with Lawrence on drums. And I was going to ask you about that, how their collective presence impacted the writing and recording of the Venomous, because Magnus did get in on the writing, and Lawrence has a different drumming style, and now Ronnie's been solidified in the band for a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, with Magnus, it's kind of awesome because sometimes can be a disaster when you have to collaborate with a new writer, but never been a problem with Magnus. I mean, never been a struggle for us. Always comes naturally. We're on the same page musically, I think, and we have a lot of respect for each other. And for him, probably was a little bit more weird. He told me, like, why you letting me put all my ideas on the album? He never expected that, but I'm always, a lover of good ideas. So it doesn't matter if it comes from me or from anyone else. If it's a good idea, we should put it on the album, and that's how I see the band. Like it's a team effort. It is a band. It's not a Marios project, So I think we're in a very good spot right now, and you actually can hear that on the album.
Yeah, I think maybe that's why it had that continuity that I mentioned earlier. Now, there's a lot of ugliness in the world right now. I mean, good grief, you only have to look at our current president to know that. But is that ugliness something you guys tapped into in creating the theme or concept behind the Venomous?
Yeah, I wouldn't say that we got inspired, but we got affected from a lot of stuff that is happening in the world nowadays. A lot of hatred and racism going on, a lot of bloodshed, killing innocent people in the name of a false god. All that stuff, lead us to write about, and we want to, we're actually wondering why we humans ended up like that, and also there's between the lines there's some kind of a glimpse of hope and a glimpse of change that we just want. We hope that people will change and will take care of each other instead of killing each another, one another. But so this is a main concept for the album, for the Venomous, I think.
Yeah, and it's funny because that's a nice segue to what I was going to mention next. Is one of the things that really stood out for me with the Venomous is how adeptly you balanced the extreme aggression and brutality with copious amounts of melody, which in a way sort of ties in with the lyrical theme, as you've got that ugliness and the hatred, which is that extreme aggression and brutality, with the melody, which is sort of that underlying thread of hope. But it's not an easy thing to do, to balance that sort of brutality with the melody and make it feel and sound the way that it does so well.
Almost like a paradox, exactly. Thanks for saying that, because this is who we are. I mean, we're always trying to be on different worlds. Like we're always trying to combine different feelings and different mentalities, musically speaking. Like in our music, like brutality and ethereal melodies, acoustic guitars with growling vocals, and that's for us very inspiring to get the challenge, to try to write a good tune and a good song. And this is what Nitrage. This is who we are, and I think in a way we have our own sound. I mean, if you listen to a Nitrage song, this is Nitrage of the way we're playing the melodies and the arrangements and all that stuff. We don't want to forget also where we're coming from. We still want to be a metal band all the way, to the bone, metal to the bone. But at the same time, we want to, expand, find more interesting ideas and be more interesting band in the end of the day, better songwriting and all that stuff. That's something we're always looking for, in the end of the day, to write a good tune.
I'm a little bit older. I'm 53 now. When I grew up, metal, the bands that were considered metal then would now just barely be rock bands. So metal has changed so much in its extremity into how heavy and brutal that it's gotten, and sometimes that melody gets lost.
It's kind of funny you saying that because some bands, the more they growing up, the more they're losing their heavy edge. I don't know what's the reason for that. Maybe it's the reason because they want to get more money, or they want to get more radio friendly, or they listen to the wrong people. I don't know. But for us, we're very anal about doing music that comes from the heart. That's for us. It's very important to be able to sleep in the night without having any nightmares. You know what I mean? Like, we want to be honest. That's the thing. And of course, it's a hard thing to say, but we're trying our best to be honest and give that honesty back to our fans. And for me, I'm very proud, very happy that we are, after 7 albums, we haven't lost any glimpse of heaviness in our music.
And I think fans can hear when you're being genuine and when you're not, so that comes through in the music.
Yeah, because it's an art. I mean, you need to be honest with your art and not looking right or left or different directions. You just need to be honest with yourself first, and then with all your fans and all your people that listen to you. I think it's very important when you're an artist to work for your art, 100%. I think.
Now, you, throughout the Nightrage lifetime of 17 years, as you mentioned, you've sort of bounced between Greece and Sweden over that time. You returned to Greece once again to reside and record the new album, I believe. Why the shift back home again?
Well, we recorded the album, and we have done everything first, and then after we came back to Sweden, I realized that I needed to go back to move permanently back to Greece because of family reasons, and also the fact that, kind of miss my family and my friends, my neighborhood all these years. I've been living in Sweden for 13 and a half years. I think I in a way, I pay my dues. I sacrificed a lot for this band, and now I felt, it was just a feeling that I felt, okay, now for me, it's time to go back, and I still can carry on with the band. That will never be a problem for me because, it's just a flight, 3 hours flight, actually, right, from Thessaloniki, where I live, to Stockholm. It's not far. So it's because we always, anyway, we worked through the internet and emails and all that stuff. So it's pretty easy to run a band nowadays, I think, with the internet and Facebook. So it doesn't really matter where you live, as long as you're willing to work hard, that's all it matters, I think.
Do you think being back home again altered or in any way impacted your songwriting for this record?
Well, not really, because when we need to do stuff, I mean, I was in Sweden when we were composing the album and record and everything. So I left after we have done with everything. Then I left back to Greece. So I'm like in Greece now for 2 months now. So I'm pretty new here. Like I said, there was a reason for that. A family reason, and also the fact that I felt I spent a lot of years in Sweden. So it felt like, okay. And also, it has something amazing happened when I came now in Greece. Actually, I got a chance to start working in a recording studio. The first day that I came, I got the offer. So we're working on that. So this studio in Thessaloniki, Greece, we're going to record the next Nightrage albums and, of course, a lot of other bands. So you guys get warned about it. So, it's something really cool that makes me feel happy that, to work with something that you really like, working in a recording studio as a producer and manager,
This is the 10th year anniversary of your third album, A New Disease Is Born, which signaled a slight directional shift for you guys at the time. What do you remember most about making that album?
Yeah, I remember that it was, like you said, it was a little bit kind of a shift to a maybe more lighter kind of direction, which makes me a little bit pissed off at the time, to be honest, because I didn't want that, but it was the other members in the band back in the day. They were trying to convince me this is the right direction, but I felt it from the start, like this is not exactly what I want. But in the end of the day, it's a great album. it's pretty heavy, you know. It's not like we sold our souls to the devil, you know. But I remember that the great. I want to remember the great stuff from that album, like the recordings and the songs we did, the album, and some stuff that happened afterwards. I almost forgot, you know. I don't want to remember, but you know, it's a great album in the catalog of Nightrage of our catalog as a band. It's not. I wouldn't consider it a black album for us, you know. But if you ask me more personal questions, yeah, a lot of bad stuff happened around it. But I just don't want to. I almost forgot that, you know. I don't want to remember it. But it's kind of amazing that the fact that we still put this album out after what happened. So it's a great achievement anyway for us.
Awesome, Marios. Thanks so much for taking some time. The new album, The Venomous, came out March 31st. Fantastic record. Hopefully one of these days we'll get a chance to see you over here in North America. I don't know if it'll happen, but we hold out hope. And,
well, really hope for that. And thanks for the interview and the interest. I'm very happy that you like the album, and hope all your listeners will give it a chance, buy it, stream it, or steal it, but give it a chance anyways. And can't wait to see you all guys out there on the forthcoming Nightrage shows. Thanks for the interest and the love in the band. We love you all. Maximum respect, man. Thanks. Cheers.